Right. So like with any surgeries that we do, we go in with the notion to make the patient better, but things do happen and we should know how to bail out of them. So do no harm, identify and rectify. Don't make it a complication for the patient. Let it be an incident and we sort it out for them. Now, during ACL reconstruction, you can have complications starting from graft harvesting to graft fixation. So what happens in graft harvesting? So if you got a BTB graft that you're taking, you need to be very careful as to how you take, especially on the patella side. So make sure that you're not taking triangular grafts. You're going to be more of a quadrangular grafts. Make some drill holes in the corners so that you don't have any areas of weakness where the osteotomy propagates. Don't go too deep. If it does happen, what do? Identify and fix it. So usually it's a vertical type of fracture. So you ideally put 1 or 2 screws across, but make sure you don't compress it across and change the way the anatomy of the patella is. Graft amputations can happen. We have all faced it. I have done it many times, but hopefully I won't do it more now. Why? We need to identify where the anatomy of the hamstrings are. If you feel any resistance, stop. There may be another winkle down there. And make sure that you clear that, release it, and then take the ideal graft. If you have too short a graft, you should be able to know how to harvest other grafts. You may be kind of experienced in taking only one graft, but you should know how to take other grafts like the peroneus, the quadriceps, so that in case you end up in trouble, you're able to salvage the procedure. Sometimes you can have too long a graft, especially when you take a BTB graft. You can have a tunnel mismatch, so you need to know how to bail out. And the middle slide is the one I borrowed from Dr. Arumugam, where he talks about the tongue of the tibial tuberosity. Take a slightly longer tongue, so if the bone plug is slightly outside, you still have enough bone to put a screw across. You can fold the tibial side onto the graft, and then you can put sutures through that. You can change the inclination on the tibial side so that you can accommodate a longer tunnel. But be careful when you go too far medially, because it gets more oblong as you enter into the tibial articular surface and can cause damage to the condyle surface. This you would never want it to happen, but it happens, then we need to know what to do. Best option, don't use that graft. But if you don't have any other choice, you don't know how to do it, quickly pick it up, clean it, wash it with lots and lots and lots and lots of saline, use dilute chlorhexidine, put some gentamicin on it, and just pray that nothing happens. Femoral tunnel preparations. A lot of it in your hands in terms of the tunnel. You need to know how accurately to place it so you don't have any problems with that. Things you don't want to happen. Look at here. This was done by one of my trainees. I was looking away. He happily drilled through. And I turned back, and guess what you see there? You haven't seen it yet, and you got something floating there. And you look further, and you have taken the whole of the cartilage across. You really, 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 really don't want to see this. It's very difficult to explain to the patient later. Lateral cord, you get posterior blowout. Again, you need to be careful. If the lateral wall is very hard and you're using a condyle pick, just be gentle. Make sure your pick is quite sharp. Otherwise, you'll start to blow out into the back. Happened the first time? Okay, stop there. Try the second time. And guess what happens? It begins to crumble even further. Then you need to have other methods to do it. Stop there. Don't try keeping on doing the same thing. So use a guide, a fixed guide, something like an offset guide, so that you have more control of it. So you bring the offset guide in. Use that to control the guide pin rather than the entry point. And again, you need to be careful. Just drill in just enough to make a purchase. Don't ream through and through. Look all around. Have you got enough cortex around it? Then, if you are absolutely sure, pass it through. But when it comes to reaming, don't ream through and through. Stop. See where it is going. You can change the angle and go far away from the breakout is. Once you are happy that you're safely away from that, then ream through. Then you make your socket. You don't want to blow it out and then cause a big problem there. Of course, if you have blown it out, there are ways to bail out of that. Use a suspensory fixation if it's a soft tissue graft. What would you do if you're using a BTB graft? You can still use a suspensory fixation if you are comfortable with it, but just bring the sutures out and use a suture post on the outside. Much easier. Same with the lateral cortex perforation. Sometimes soft bone, you keep reaming, you don't know whether you have penetrated through, and suddenly you find it's gone through. You can use additional buttons which kind of makes your suspensory fixation bigger. But if the most easiest, it again opens on the side. You can either put an interference screw down from the other side, or you tie it to a suture post. Be careful about the drill or wire getting bent when you're especially flexing. You get too excited and they can snap inside and can be a nightmare. Tibial tunnel preparation is not without its complications as well. This is one of my revision ACL reconstruction that I did, and see where the entry point of the socket is intra-articularly. It's so far medial, and this is where the guide pin should have been. So how do you prevent it? So sometimes, like I mentioned in the initial talk about tibial drilling, you drill and you suddenly find that your drill pin is actually on the medial tibial spine. What do you do? Well, you have options. You can put the jig back and try it again. But then you would often find that you'll go in through the same hole and come through the same point. So what I do is I retain the wire, and you've got these little guides which you can put through to the previous pin, and you need to know. You need to get a kind of a three-dimensional view as to where you're going to come through. And if you're careful, you should get it in the right place. And then you can ream through and you can get your socket in the right place again. Now, while graft passages, you can get complications. Sutures can break, nothing alarming. Pull it out, put some new sutures. Graft lacerations can take place, especially if you're using a very snug graft, in which case you can use any of the paraffin gauze or Bactigra or whatever you've got, put it on the graft and pull it, goes in easily. Now, when you prepare the graft, you have to be careful that all strands of the graft have been held by the sutures. Otherwise, you'll find that the graft strands separate, and then you don't get the same tensioning inside. Graft fixation. Many a time, this is where we have problems. It can flip onto the soft tissues. The points to look out for. If you find that a suture the mark on your cinching sutures are within the tunnel, or when you pull on the button, you find there is a bungee effect, don't hesitate to use the fluoroscan. I often do. And what do you find? That the button is way far off. What do you do? Don't panic. If you can still keep pulling, the button sometimes comes onto the cortex. If not, just open it laterally. But it's technically slightly challenging. You might have to make a bigger incision because where the sutures come out and where it is on the cortex is slightly far off. And once you have done that, you can seat it back in place. Now, what happens if you flip the button within the tunnel? It's happened to me. You pull and you feel it's snug. You pull hard and you feel, oh, the button has kind of sat on the cortex. And then you notice it when you're trying to cinch the graft in. You find that the mark on the graft is not going through after a certain level. And then you begin to wonder, did you make the socket length wrong or something else is happening? Again, don't hesitate to use a fluoroscan. This is a post-operative view. You don't need to see that. So you keep pulling the graft back gently, but again, you need to be aware that you're going to cause some graft laceration here. And as you pull it out, you find that the button is actually cinched onto the graft. What do we do? If your graft is still viable, use the same graft and do it properly this time. And this is again something you never ever want to happen to you. So this is a patient who came to me having done the ACL elsewhere. The immediate post-operative X-ray does show that there is a screw that is intra-articular. Of course, it is in the intercondylar notch and you can forget and think that, okay, it's not going to get impinged. The patient from day one has been saying that he's been getting some sharp pain inside. He had a repeat X-ray, showed the same thing. But there's something slightly different here. He had an MCL injury, and you can see his medial side is beginning to open up, which means that your tibia is going to translate across. And surprise, surprise, he comes back saying that he's got severe pain. And what do you see? The screw is broken in. And this is what I find when I put the scope in. The screw has gouged the whole of the medial femoral condyle from anterior to posterior in the weight-bearing area. A lot of synovitis, debris within the joint, which you have to slowly clear, salvage as much as you can. And the important thing with all these, the degradable screws are they break off and they are at different places. So you have to go in, fish all of them out, otherwise they're going to be recurrent synovitis and they can cause more problems. Nitinol breakage does happen with certain instrumentation. This is a patient who had picked it up post-operatively, but you should pick it up intraoperatively. Check the guide wire always, the nitinol wire, to make sure that it's not broken off, and then take it out. If you got poor quality bone, there could be screw divergence and your fixation is compromised. Always have an alternative fixation. Use staples if your graft is long enough. Use suture posts if you can. And this is again another one. If your tunnel is too far anterior and your graft is very strong and hard and your bone is soft, the screw can bake out anteriorly. What do? Don't panic. Put a suture post and salvage it. Now, there are ones that you can avoid, the ones that you see, and the ones that you might miss. Do not ignore. Do not pray and sit tight on it. Correct immediately, and you'll do a good job. Thank you.